And we are back just like that. I apologize to you, family. I don't know what happened. I'm trying some new things and maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously, I don't. So thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around. We appreciate it. Now, welcome back, everyone. Let's see if we can get through this second go at a live stream. We shall see. All right. Is it on your channel, Hendo?
Yes, you can calm
Okay.
down. It was not that important. If it didn't work, it just didn't work.
Oh, if it didn't work, I was closing the shop, and we'd say, "Come back tonight at 9 o'clock. We'll see you. Give us a, take three. The third time's a
It,
charm.
it,
I don't know,
it was
but
it
anyway,
was not it wasn't that serious, Yolanda. It
to
wasn't
me
that
it was.
serious.
Okay. Now, okay, good. I see you. What's good, family? I see you. Thank you for being here. Delete Delava one. I see 86 Ghosts, Equip Institute, Lead Commander. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We had a little bit of a rocky start. We did to today's live stream, and that bothered me. I'm trying and get myself back together because I don't like it when things don't run smoothly, but that's just a part of being on YouTube and going live. So it happens. Lead Commander is here and he has something to say to you, Hendo. He wants to know,
Mm-hmm.
Hendo,
What's
you said the Eagles was going to do what to my Commanders? Speak up. I can't hear you.
y'all did y'all thing. Like, I know some people would like to attribute it to Jalen Hurts getting hurt and being knocked out the game, but the Eagles had 5 turnovers. No, the Eagles had the Commanders had five turnovers.
Yeah.
So regardless of who the quarterback was, even I think it was like 4 minutes left, 5 minutes left in the game. Jaden Daniels threw that interception. Like, the Eagles should have won that game, but the Commanders did their thing. I can't hold you. Like, it's nothing to say. They went out and did what they needed to do to keep their playoff hopes alive. Like,
They
you
did.
got that, bruh. You got that.
He's the lead commander. So hello? Hello? Hendo? Are you there? Yeah, he's here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you all for the grace that you're giving me. You all see that I'm kind of upset because when things don't go the way I want it to, I get frustrated. Thanks, Agnes. Thanks, Denise. We're all good. Let's go. Let's get the road. Let's get the road on the show. I heard someone say that, and I've been saying it for years. Get the road on the show. So
You
that's what
sure
we're
it's
about to
not
do.
you sure it's not
Nope.
get the show on the road?
It was said in jest, just like someone said, my, how the turns have tabled, not how the tables have turned. So anyway, let's go. We're not going to recap the game because we did that last night, and I'll be sure to put a link in the description just in case you missed it. But today we kind of wanted to talk about the psychological aspect of what this win for the Ravens, what does it mean for our Ravens against the Steelers, the team that just doesn't ever want to go away? What does it mean for us? So, Hendo, let me ask you that. What does it mean? Just give me one major point that you think is a takeaway for this team moving forward.
I think the takeaway is that the team can beat anybody at any given time, even if we make mistakes, even if there are penalties and we're not up to the usual standards that we had throughout the season. We can beat any team. Yes, they may have had some victories over us consecutively for some years, but at any time the Ravens can win. And I think psychologically for this team going forward, it gives them the confidence going into the playoffs, especially with the last 2 games coming. We should win those games. We should go into the playoffs hot. And if we see the Steelers there again, and if we see the eventual 2-time champion Kansas City Chiefs, we now know that, hey, we control our own destiny. The only team that can beat the Ravens is the Ravens. So I just think that it lightens the mood for the fan base. It gives us stuff to talk about. We no longer have to speak about, well, it's not a rivalry because the Steelers own you. You have to win sometimes to be in a rivalry. So I just think for us that, it just gives us that advantage and that confidence going forward. We beat the Steelers, we demolished the Commanders. Like, we just have that confidence that we can beat anybody.
For sure, for sure. And I think to add a little bit to that, yesterday was not just a win against a division rival, but there were so many incredible records that were set or broken yesterday, and a couple of them. Marlon Humphrey, he gets his first pick 6 of his career. The next one, Kyle Van Noy, 10 and a half sacks now. First season ever in his career where he's made or he's received over 10 sack, double digits. The next one, Zay Flowers, 1,000 receiving yards. But most importantly, Lamar Jackson, he set his own franchise record. He broke his own record. 37 passing touchdowns in a single season. So when you look at that in the aggregate, you think, all right, what does this really say about the team? And what does it kind of do for the team? Like you said, it builds confidence, but also it's going to like boost morale in the locker room. And maybe that's one and the same. Maybe that's saying the same thing. But when we've seen Justin Tucker struggle, morale can kind of go down. When we see an offensive line not play the very best against good defensive fronts, morale can kind of go down. And now this is a reason I think that the Ravens can look at this and say, all right, let's turn the page. We had some bumps in the road, but it's time to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and go chase this Lombardi. So that's what I think. That's what I think. What do you think the Ravens need to do now that they have so many wonderful accolades that came out of yesterday's game? What do you think they need to do as they prepare for the Texans and the remaining games this season?
Clean up the little things. Work on concentration when it comes to catching the ball. Stop with the unnecessary penalties. Like these penalties, I understand there are going to be penalties during games, and we have cut them down some over the last few weeks, but some of them have come at crucial times. Like, I think we also need to put together the best offensive line that we can for the playoffs. Start experimenting these last two games to see who is actually ready to perform going into the playoffs, because we want to and we believe that he can, but we shouldn't expect Lamar Jackson to play Superman each and every week. We can't expect Derrick Henry to run for 150 yards every game. So the defense has stepped up. We just need the offensive line to do the same.
Yeah, true indeed. And I laughed not at you at what you were saying, Hendo, but more on the reason for the chuckle inwardly is because you're right. We need to put the best offensive linemen at their respective positions out there. And the fact that the last game we saw Ben Cleveland at center. Now, a question comes to mind. Well, today there was a walkthrough and our center, Tyler Linderbaum, mostly observed. Is there something going on with Tyler Linderbaum that we just don't really know? Is that why we saw Ben Cleveland taking snaps at center? I mean, right. It's something that we need to think about. So if you have questions for us, please drop your questions in the chat. I see we have one from Abdi Hassan, so I'm going to take a few questions here. I'm going to take a few questions here and let us know, what does this win over the Eagles, what does it do psychologically? Because football is just as much about the mental fortitude as it is the physical, right? So what does this do for a team like the Ravens who've struggled so mightily against the Steelers? Let's take a few comments. All right, Abdi, we are going to start with you. First up, Abdi said, Hendo, bro, you remember they said Lamar Jackson would be less than 3 years and he's going to be out of the league? How the tables turn. What do you say, Hendo?
Yeah, when they drafted him, coming to that draft in 2018, they said that the style of play that Lamar Jackson had was not conducive to being successful or being a long-term thing in the NFL. He was going to run around, get banged up, because they've seen lesser talented quarterbacks just go out there and not get it done. What they didn't realize was the resolve that Lamar has, the talent, his desire to win, the time and effort that he puts in. And obviously, they didn't observe him during college. What's going on? They didn't observe him during college because all they saw in college was Lamar Jackson at Louisville, back-to-back 1,500 rushing yard years. But they didn't observe the 3,700 passing yards that he had to go along with it. So they just thought he would go in. He didn't know how to read defenses. And, of course, it had a little bit of racial tinge to it, that they didn't want him to succeed because, all people want to be right in their assessments, especially when you're on TV giving out your opinions. But they just underestimated Lamar Jackson, the man. And I think that he's proved a lot. Understandably, he's our MV3, whether he gets it or not. I know they're trying to give the award to Josh Allen. I just saw on Twitter one of their most fanatic fans, one of their most frantic fans. He put a statistic up about the Ravens versus playoff teams and how many completions that Lamar Jackson had versus how many rushing yards Derrick Henry had. But what he failed to put in there was, yes, Lamar had 16 completions, but he had 297 yards and 4 touchdowns. He completely omitted certain things, and it's still going on with Lamar. They don't want him to succeed because they don't want to rush in that era of quarterback. People still want to see their drop back quarterbacks. They still want to see their pure pocket passers. They don't want this to turn over because they're old school. It's just like in baseball. They don't want to see change in baseball because they want it to be the same old game that they saw way back in the day. And once again, there's also a hint of racial tension in there because where you get most of these mobile athletic quarterbacks are, they're not certain people. So they don't want to see this. So they want Lamar to fail. But yeah, they thought he was going to fail and he didn't. And they're still trying to knock him down to this day because even after they said he couldn't beat the Steelers, he's going to struggle, he's not going to win. After he won, now what we're going to do is we're going to switch the narrative over to his playoff record because that's what they always do. They always find something else. When he wins the Super Bowl this year, they're going to say, yeah, he won a Super Bowl and he has a 6-4 playoff record, but it's only 6-4 and he only has one Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're certainly going to twist that narrative right now because, the last thing I heard was, Josh Allen is playing through a broken, non-throwing left hand, and he's been playing through it all season. And just like DDSQ said, I guess them making the decision to flex this Bills game is not working out so far. I saw Abdi said that Josh Allen looks pretty bad, but they're going to say it's because that left hand, right? His non-throwing hand was the cause. That was the reason for him not looking good today. So win or lose against the Patriots, win or lose. And boy, I wish David Hunt was here because he is a Patriots fan. But if they win, I'll be sure to catch his stream in the morning. Shout out to the Wonderkin Show. Thank you for being Nitro here. Make sure that you go over to Nitro's show, click on his avatar, the Wonderkin Show, doing really good things out here for the Baltimore Ravens community. Let me see. There was something else I wanted to say about Denise. Thank you. That was, something else I did not mention. Another, check mark on this list of accolades for the Ravens. Mark Andrews' first touchdown against the Steelers. You wouldn't think about it. You wouldn't believe it, but 'tis true. So all of these things bode well for the Ravens in terms of realizing mentally, psychologically, we can do this. There's no team out here that, quote, has our number. Okay, maybe the Chiefs do right now, but we're coming for them, okay? We're going to come for them, okay? But there was something else that said, I think it was Abdi said, no, I'm sorry, it was Jesus. Ravens defense doesn't scare anyone. 2023 was better. I agree that they were better last year, but I don't know that I agree that they don't scare anyone. Hendo, what do you think?
They don't scare a soul.
Wait, okay, I was going to say maybe they could kind of scare a little bit, but I mean...
Yeah. But the whole thing is they don't need to scare anybody. So yesterday's game is exactly what we were looking for in 2024 Baltimore Ravens defense. I don't need them to be number one statistically overall across the board. I don't need that. What I need is a defense that doesn't allow touchdowns, a bunch of them, and has timely turnovers. They have timely stops because we saw Russell Wilson at the goal line, going toward the goal line, fumble. We turned the ball over. Momentum had swung back to the Steelers. Maul and Humphrey picked 6. So we don't need them to scare anybody. We just need them to make timely plays and play situational football. And one thing I want to say about Josh Allen, and that narrative that they're pushing. If the Buffalo Bills end up winning this game, what they're not going to talk about is the Patriots were actually dominating them in the first quarter. What happened and turned the tide was a 48-yard James Cook run. But of course, they're going to turn it around and say, well, Josh Allen did his thing. Josh Allen wasn't looking good. James Cook is, but they're going to make it seem like, well, the front runner for the MVP is the one that turned things around and got them into this game. So, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the defense, they just need to get the job done. They don't need to scare anybody. Like, I love the underdog role, right? So for me personally, I like for people to underestimate and overlook people. It's primarily for personal reasons. Primarily, that's the exact reason why I got tattoos. Primary reason I got tattoos, because when I walk into any situation, when I go job interviews, when I go for certain things, have certain meetings with people, and they look at me and say, "Oh, he's got tattoos." Got him. But what they really don't know is that I prepare for things. I'm slightly intelligent. Like, I'm ready. So they underestimate me, just like they're going to underestimate this defense. They're going to look at the beginning portion of the season and see that the Ravens have had the 32nd or 31st ranked pass defense in the league. They're going to see that the last couple of games that they struggled stopping certain running backs from running the ball. And that's going to be to their detriment. So when we get in the playoffs, they can overlook us. And somebody outside of Marlon Humphrey is going to step up and make a play that they weren't expecting. And that's going to help us win this game and go a little bit further in the playoffs.
For sure. I mean, I want to say that our defense. Okay, Jesus, you said that they don't scare anybody. Okay, right. I'm trying to think. Okay, maybe that's a sort of kind of in an unconventional kind of sort of way accurate statement, but like Hendo said, as long as we can get turnovers, as long as we can get the big plays when we need them, even though they might not be this scary defense like they were last year, I think we'll be okay. I do. I really do. And Killicam says that Nnamdi has disappointed me. Yeah, he's been a disappointment though. But I guess my thought is, when I look at a lot of players, not all of them, when I look at a lot of players who are playing in a contract year, we see them time after time excel, do great, wonderful even. And then they get paid, and then the next season it's a bit of a drop off. And for Nnamdi, it has been just that. Would we like to see more from him? Of course we would. We just paid him. How much money did we pay him? That much.
98 mil.
I didn't know it was 90. Yeah, they're 98 mil. So we need to see more from him. But I'm not so disappointed. Well, I'm disappointed, but I can't say that I'm super surprised. So I'll say that. And DDSQ says he thinks the guys mispracticed yesterday. Mispracticed due to there being a game yesterday. Just soreness. The body's trying to recover. And that could be. Very well. Very true. So let's keep an eye out on our center and see what happens over the next couple of, well, I can't say couple of days because we only have like a day or so and then it's game day. Claude is in the building. Hey, Claude, thanks for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Certainly a confidence boost. So that said, the Ravens' confidence now has elevated, hopefully. The morale in the locker room should be elevated. That means to me that for teams that the Ravens are facing, even the ones who got us early, like the Chiefs, teams that I'm not going to even mention, the Raiders, because like we're not going to see them again. They've been eliminated. But for teams that actually, are still contending for a Super Bowl title, who beat us, that means to me, you need to know that the Ravens have figured things out. Not completely, because like Agnes said a moment ago, our offensive line did okay yesterday. They weren't great, but they did enough to get the job done. So that's what we need. Honestly, that's what we need. Big Woke, welcome in. We need Hendo to rant more often. Go ahead, Hendo. Go on a rant because Big Woke says we need that. So I don't know, Big Woke. Tell us what you would like to hear. No, I want to know. Big Woke, tell us what you'd like to hear. But Kev T says Linderbaum was hurt coming into the year, so it may be a lingering injury, something nagging. And perhaps that's why we've seen Ben Cleveland taking some snaps. And because where's Nick Samick? I mean,
Ooh, ooh.
where is he? Where is our backup center? Where's Nick Samick? Who is that? Nightmare Kilo. Who's not looking good? Are you talking about
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen? You're talking about Josh Allen? Hey there, Big Reg. Good evening. Welcome into the stream. Yes, go over. Big Reg is back.
He's back.
He is back. Click on his avatar. Go subscribe to his channel. He's got a lot of wonderful, interesting takes about the Baltimore Ravens and a possibility of winning a Super Bowl this season. So make sure you go over and subscribe. Yeah.
And he's a big fan of the cartoon Caillou because he thinks he's a cornerback.
Didn't he say that Caillou Blue Kelly plays for a team right now? He's on somebody's team.
He's been on so many teams. It's hard to keep track.
He really, really has. I can't even keep up. Yeah, that's right. Exactly, Hendo. Just get the job done. For sure. For sure. Here's a question from Abdi. Should the Ravens sign a long contract Darius Washington to stay in Baltimore? What do you think, Hendo?
Definitely. Listen, I don't think that it's coincidence that once they inserted him into the starting lineup, things changed dramatically. He's the one that got the fumble on Russell Wilson. Like, he's making plays. He's the smallest guy on the field, but he's out there making a huge impact, where we have guys that have been paid a lot more money that have kind of disappeared a little bit. He's not making money and he's doing his thing. So to me, one, they should re-sign him because he's a playmaker. Two, they should re-sign him because he's not going to be that expensive. That's going to cost them some money, but it's not going to cost them the price of $70 million to get a Marcus Williams. So yes, listen, you need to keep guys on this team that buy into what you're doing, that are familiar with the scheme, and guys that actually make plays. And that's what R. Darius does. And that's why I told Brodney last year that he was going to make the team and make an impact.
Yeah.
Brodney. What's up, Jose?
I didn't think Ardarius Washington was going to be a huge factor. Honestly, I didn't. The fact that we went out, and if you were to have asked me, Ardarius Washington, Marcus Williams, who's going to have a more significant impact? I'm going to go with Marcus Williams. Surprise, surprise. That's just not, how it works. It's not how it turned out. And we're not even going to talk about Eddie Jackson because he's no longer here with us. But Denise made a really good statement. She said, she believes the fans need to keep pounding and producing content to keep Ravens on their toes because she believes that they are listening to us. Hendo, if you had one message to say to the Ravens, because Denise believes they're listening, what would it be right now?
Start your best players. Plain and simple. I don't care how you feel about them. I don't care if you have an attitude towards them. We are nearing the end of the regular season, and it's one and done time. Like, if you lose a game in the playoffs, you go home. So put your ego aside, play the best guys for the job, and do the best that you can, and maybe go outside of yourself. Maybe do some things that you wouldn't normally do, like, say, the last 6 years that got us ousted from the playoffs. Do something different. Yeah. Just play your best players.
Yeah, and to that, I would add, if they're listening to us right now, don't deviate from your identity. Know who you are. Stick to it. It doesn't matter. Even if it's, struggling, even though it might be a struggle at first, it might not come easy. Derrick Henry might be getting stopped. Don't deviate from the run game. That's our bread and butter this year. Don't deviate from what works, and we'll be fine. Hey there, Andre. Thanks for being here. He said, Andre, who happens to be a Steelers fan, said that the Ravens suck. Well, if the Ravens suck and we beat you yesterday, what does that make the Steelers?
Struggling.
On the struggle bus, for sure. Jose is here. Good evening, Jose. One half of Lunch Break Hot Take. Please make sure to click on his avatar. I don't know if it's this one, but just type in Lunch Break Hot Take. There you go. Click on Lunch Break Hot Take. And here on YouTube, two brothers, they do an amazing job giving you all the content that you could ask for the Panthers and the Ravens. And did the Panthers win today? I believe they did.
Yes, they did.
There you go. There you go.
Bradley's not happy.
Why? I
because
thought
he wants
he
them to
wants
play
them.
well,
Yeah,
but he wants
right.
them to lose to have better draft, a
Correct.
better draft style. You know,
Yes, that's right, Andre. I am a hopeful individual. So there you go. Um, Ryan Smith said that Namdi hasn't disappointed me because people have to understand the NFL catches up with players. Yeah, that's true. But I just think it's more of, hey, I went out there, I did what I had to do. I had an amazing year last year. They saw it, everybody saw it, and they paid me. And now it's like, that's what I think it is. So, Agro Valley Farm, thanks for joining. There is still room for improvement, particularly the O line and midfield. Yeah, definitely our linebacking core is just not the greatest. And what's the deal with Trenton Simpson? Can anyone shed some light as to why we really don't see him? Hendo, what are your thoughts? Is it just he doesn't play well? Like, honestly, like, what do you think?
I mean, there can be a direct correlation between playing Trenton Simpson and Roquan playing so bad. Because a lot of people have speculated that, Roe was trying to cover up for the mistakes that Trenton Simpson was making. So now that he's not in and they have guys with a little more experience, maybe Roquan is free now to just worry about his responsibilities. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. I thought he was talented enough to come in and make a sort of an impact, but they just have not been playing him. Ugh. Yeesh.
Oh no. See, thanks for the update, Kenneth. Thank you, thank you. Um, Brandon E says, if the Bills barely win or lose, I'll wait and see what actually happens. I'm curious to see what the narrative will be. I know what the narrative is going to be. If they win, he fought through it. He rallied his team. He is the reason that they were able to overcome the adversity that they faced against the Patriots. If they lose, I'm telling you, it's that broken left hand that he's still playing through. It's bothering him. It's going to be one of the two. It's going to be one of the two.
That's a BS because I actually watched them throw 3 consecutive bubble screens.
Yeah.
3 consecutive. And the third one, he threw it in the dirt. Like the guy was right in front of me, threw it in the dirt. But of course, when the guys break tackles and get the yards, oh my gosh, an amazing pass by Josh Allen. Look at him out there doing his thing, leading his team to victory. When ever since last year, when they started to feature James Cook and the running game, this is when they kind of activated the Josh Allen that we see now. Less responsibility,
Yeah.
less on his shoulders. Of course, he's going to play better. When you have a run game like that, we have a run game like that. But Lamar was doing this before Derrick Henry got here, and therein lies the difference.
For sure. For sure. And before we get to Jaleel
Hey,
Rack's question, oh, what happened?
Antonio said the Patriots fumbled.
No,
This is fixed.
this is terrible. No, no, no. But before we get to the question, if you would do us a favor, if you are here and enjoying the stream, take 2.5, hit the like button. And if you are new, welcome, subscribe, make sure you join the family and turn on your post notifications so that you don't miss content we release on our channels. Because this December, Hendo and I are releasing content. I can't even say weeks. For the next couple of weeks, I can't even say that. Hendo and I are releasing
9
content
days.
every single day for the next 9 days. I can't believe we're coming to the very end. Wow, this went by fast. So, and even in January and into February, because the Baltimore Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl this year. Book it. That's it. I said what I said, Andre. I said it. There you go. But Jaleel Rack wants to know, is Mitchell going to be activated for playoff time? That is a question that I really don't know. I don't know if he's dealing with a setback from his injury. I don't know if we rushed him back and he's just not ready. But the fact that we just don't see him very much, if at all, is concerning. So I don't know, because playoff time is just right around the corner in a couple of weeks. So I'm not sure. I'm going to say no. I'm leaning toward no is my answer. What about you, Hendo?
I would hope that the answer would be no. I don't think that they should activate him. And of course, we could use that speed boost. We could use that element, that change of pace back. It would help tremendously. But he's coming off of an injury. He's
Yeah.
done no time running the ball. And listen, you jogging on the sideline, going through practice reps is not the same as playing the game. And what can end up happening is, because of the muscle memory issue, He may have a soft tissue injury. He may re-aggravate. He may tear something because he's not in football shape and he hasn't played. And you expect him to go over a full season and a half and then come back and just play in a playoff game in cold weather. I don't think that that's conducive for winning football. So I would say I hope that they don't, because they haven't played him. And they haven't played him because there must be something wrong. Because there's no reason that he's 100 or 95% healthy and you just decide, all right, I'm going to give him a couple special team snaps and that's it. And then deactivate him for a few weeks.
Yeah. I want to get back to the Ravens for just a bit in terms of yesterday's game. Marlon has been making plays. He really has. He's been holding it down. And this is a player who we've seen, I'm going to say, ever since the departure of, gosh, my mind is going blank right now. Marcus Peters. Ever since Marcus Peters left, we just haven't seen the all-pro Marlo. We haven't. But for some reason, this year, he's been making big-time plays for us. And yesterday against the Steelers was the perfect time to come up with his first pick six. So shout out to Marlon. Keep doing what you're doing. I know I heard that he just became a dad, had a little boy this past week, had a son. So that's it. Yes. Ryan says, Yolanda, simple. Simpson got his job taken by a vet, and I think that I should have started at the beginning. I think it should have started at the beginning of this season, which was Chris Board. Yeah, there's another person in here, I think it was Robert, who was very high on Chris Board, and I was like, for what? I didn't understand, but I can see it now. I can see it now. I can see the bigger picture. And it goes to a point, so you're right, Ryan. It goes to a point that Kev T said. He thinks that we're asking too much of our young players. Well, is this true about our offensive linemen? Or is that only true of our defense? Because we're asking our O-line, which are very much inexperienced young players, to protect our most valuable asset on the team. But we do that anyway. So that's my thought there. Yes, Davon, 9 days.
And I'm done. I'm out.
No. Do me a favor, would you? If you want to continue to see Hendo in these live streaming streets after December 31st, spam the chat with thumbs up emojis, whether you're watching on my channel or Hendo's. Spam the chat. Give us some thumbs up emojis in the chat. That will let Hendo know you want to see him. You want to hear his rants, just like Big Woke said. You want to see him, his face, all up on your screen.
Somebody want to see me?
Please go ahead and just let us know. Yeah. Denise says, I feel like Mitchell is not up to par. I don't know, Denise. It might be, and you might be right. It might just be that he's just not ready. And the problem that I have with bringing him back, and it's something that Hendo mentioned, we bring him back in the playoffs, which we all know that those playoff games are so much more intense than a regular season. So your regular season is here. You take that up a notch or two in the playoffs. And he hasn't had a ramp up period. And we just throw him out there and say, on your mark, get set, go. And I just don't think, I think that to me is just not smart. It's just not. TJ of Wakanda says, Makari needs to be benched. TJ. Who else needs to join him on the bench, TJ? What about Falele? Can he have a seat with him alongside him on the bench? Yeah, Brandon E., that broken hand thing came out of nowhere. I had no idea. Even the Bills fans had no idea, because I saw immediately it was a rush, a mad dash to Twitter, to YouTube. Breaking news. Did you all know that our guy, our Josh Allen, our beloved, has been playing through a broken hand all season? Go ahead and give him the MVP right now. So yeah, exactly.
Do you know that, let's say for instance, you hit your thumb, right? And there's a little chip in the bone. That is considered a fracture. And you're considered to have a broken hand, even though that minor chip affects nothing that you do. But it's still considered broken because there's a fracture in it. There's a little hairline. And people consider that a fracture, and they consider that broken. So
it came out of, did we even know? Like, nobody even said he's dealing with a hand injury. Keaton's
I
in the
mean,
doghouse, you believe? I'd be saying. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Hendo.
uh,
Did you
talk
even
myself.
know that he had any type of issue with his left hand before yesterday?
No.
Exactly. That's the point.
Lamar threw three interceptions. I mean, threw three touchdowns, and that's what happened. They said, you know what? We thought Lamar was going to struggle versus the Steelers, and that's the narrative. We already had our articles written. Lamar struggles again, drops out the MVP race because they did a couple of shows saying when Lamar loses this game, the MVP is done for him. But
Mm.
it didn't happen. So now it's just like, oh well, he actually played well, and he had three touchdowns. So what can we do to divert the attention back to? Got it. Got it. I remember LeBron James during the finals when he was losing.
No.
They said he punched the wall and broke his hand. That's why LeBron James is losing right now because his hand's broken. What do you expect?
Oh my gosh. Now you went really way down to get that one. I'd be saying, hey there, welcome into the show. He says
Yeah.
he believes that Keaton is in the doghouse. For what? What did Keaton do? What is he in the doghouse for? If
He didn't heal fast enough.
okay, maybe that's it. Let me know. I'd be saying what is the reason that how did Keaton land in the doghouse with a major knee injury? And coming off of that major knee injury, how did he do that? Good, Ryan, you got my back with us winning the Super Bowl. Let's do it. Got a question here coming in from Big Woke. Whose black magic is scarier? Chiefs or the Steelers? That's a good question. It was one I was going to end with, something similar, but who do you think, Hendo?
It's got to be the Chiefs. They got back-to-back world titles.
I think
Simple.
I don't know if I can say which one's black magic is scarier, because even though you're right, Hendo, that the Chiefs have back-to-back titles, the Steelers have been able to clobber us more often than not, sans yesterday. So, I mean, if we put out the Ravens team on the field that we saw yesterday, I would say it would be the Chiefs. But if we sashay the Ravens team that we've seen throughout this season that's been up and down, inconsistent, then it could be the Steelers, because they always seem to find a way to beat us. So IB Saying said they did absolutely nothing to get him back on the field. Keaton is only effective milk carton like Ben Cleveland. Mercy. I see all of the thumbs up in the chat. Let me catch up. Jaleel said we must. These are all the thumbs up that were coming through. Even our guy Andre said Hendo has to be back here. Andre wants you to be here so he can give you a hard time. And I'm
Facts.
sure League Commander, if he were here, he would spam the chat with thumbs up. See, everybody is saying this. This is what they want, Hendo. You got to give the people what they want, right?
Fine. Till the Super Bowl.
No, even after the Super Bowl. See, everybody is saying it. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Hendo can rest February 9th, 2025.
Facts. Thank you, Kamal. Thank
Yes,
you.
come on. I'm all about him taking a rest. I'm all about it for a day, maybe two, because it's been a long season. It's been a lot of, maybe like a weekend. All right. Make it a long weekend. Give a third day, 3 days, take 3 days off. It's been a long season, but the people have spoken. The people have spoken. If you have a question, go ahead, drop it in the chat for us, because we are getting ready to get out of here and watch some non-interesting football. We'll watch whatever's on. But hi there, Tracy. Thanks for being here. Harbaugh said during his press conference today that Keaton Mitchell would be ready if needed Wednesday. What that means exactly, we shall see. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're stashing him, but I'd be saying I wonder if he's in the doghouse, but let's keep our eyes on that this week. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Justin, thanks. Uh-oh. What were you going to say, Hendo?
Oh, no, I was reading the comment saying he broke it doing all those rushing touchdowns. I thought he broke it from all that flopping. When guys get close to him, and he just, ow.
That was terrible. See, I figured, I said, Hendo's going to catch on to that and say something. So, but yeah, RTV for sure. Yeah, it could be that. All the flopping too that Hendo just alluded to. We need the Patriots to beat the Bills. That will help Ravens for the number 2 seed in the playoffs. That's a lofty goal for us to get number 2. That is a lofty goal. To see Justin Lewis is telling you thumbs up. People want to see this. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. I'm trying to check to make sure that we don't have any other questions. Yeah, exactly, Kamal. Today, we just wanted to come on real quick and talk about how yesterday's win, what does it really mean for the Ravens moving forward? And I think it just lets the other teams know we're back. We're back. We might have had a bit of a rocky start, and then midway through the season, we started finding ourselves, and then we kind of tailed off a little bit. But we're realizing what it takes to win games, and it doesn't require like excellent, stellar performances by everyone. It just takes a few players to say, I'm going to step up and get the job done. So that is it pretty much for today. If you have any questions, I don't see any, but yes, Kamal, I'm focused on the Texans now. So make sure you keep locked in with us. Stay tuned because you will see us for the next 9 days. I can't believe we are almost done with our challenge. But
Yes, Lord. Then I won't get cussed out no more.
who uses swear words at you?
You can get cussed out without cursing.
Okay, well,
And you do it you do it on a daily.
What do I
Okay,
do?
you fuss me out all day, every
That doesn't
day.
even sound like me fussing someone out. I'm nice.
Yolanda, do I have to pick up my phone?
I'm just saying I'm nice.
No, I'm asking
I
the
just
question. Do I have to pick up my phone? Because
no.
you know those audio recordings stay there.
I know, but I'm nice. I just usually tell you like, hey, we should live stream. The people want to see you. Like, we got to give the people what they want.
That's
Yeah,
how you say
9
it.
for 7, and 1 interception. Josh Allen, MVP, Nightmare Kilo. Yeah, it's laughable, but they're going to make a way. They have an agenda. They're going to push the agenda. It is what it is. Lamar Jackson can be miraculous as he has been the rest of the season, and Josh Allen can be mediocre. And I'm not saying he's mediocre. He's playing very good football this year.
He's outside.
But he can be. If he were even the next couple of games just kind of do this, they'd still, give him the MVP. But like Hendo always says, our focus right now is not on who gets an MVP. It's on winning the Super Bowl. So there you have it. But family, we thank you very much for joining us. Hendo, would you please let everyone know where they can find you and what you have going on here on social media?
Yes, you can find me on the Road Pod on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. I will tell you what I have coming up, but you already see every day what I have coming up because somebody forces me.
Or
Get back to work. I'm like, what?
that's
I'm
so
like,
not.
please, one more day. Get back to work. I'm just like, all right, then y'all see me here. So, we won't, I don't think we're live streaming tomorrow night.
We might never say never. We don't know. We'll have to keep, we'll see. You just don't know. So make sure your post notifications are turned on so that you never miss whatever content we release on the channel. Family, we will see you.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
You can catch me tomorrow night on Sip the Tally with Coach Evans of the Ravens Roundtable with Lunch Break Hot Take, Jose and Bryony, Chris Just Joking from the Deep Cover Podcast. I saw Mike is back. OTL Mike is back. They just did a Ring Kings episode. Make sure you go over to Ring Kings and check out just the best boxing podcast out there. OTL Mike was back. I don't know if he's going to be back for the roundtable, but don't miss it. Then check me out on Tuesday night on Suge Knight 323, A Steel Conspiracy with Brodney and Suge Knight, where we recap the week. And I don't think he's going to be particularly happy because we have to talk about his team losing a second straight game, possibly a third one with the Chiefs, then possibly a fourth with the Cincinnati Bengals in the last week of the season. So
exactly, Big Reg. Who needs television when you have all of these content creators putting out amazing content? And we will leave it with that. As Justin Lewis said, you know what I'm going to say. Until next time, you take care, stay safe, and always remember, go Ravens. See you soon.